Hello and welcome. Today we're going to answer the question, how do I get better marks in exams at Key Stage 3? We're going to do that by looking at 6-mark questions. My name's Mr. Watts. This is What's Your Question? Let's go. Okay, so there are no objectives today. We're just going to get on with the 6-mark question, and I've placed one right here for you to have a look at. The 6-mark question asks you to explain how we could test a gingerbread biscuit solution for proteins, for carbohydrates, and for sugars. The first thing we need to do here is to break this down in 4 steps. I recommend you using the 4 steps I've placed on this slide that are to decode the question first of all, to look for the keywords and the important information, to plan an answer, to write an answer, and then to check you've done everything you need to. When decoding the question, we're looking through the question to try and find the command words. We want to find out any important information as well that's in there that we can use in our answer. You should highlight the command words in one colour or underline the command words, and also underline or highlight those other important instructions in a different coloured pen as well. You are looking in this to try and find those so you know what you're being asked to do in the question. Spend a bit of time here doing that, and then we'll come back to it in a second. Pause the video here. You should have found then that the command word in this question was to explain, and our important information is through explaining the different food tests for protein, for starch, and for sugar. You need to make sure you've identified those things in the question. Once you've done that, you then write out a plan. Once you've done that, you then write out a plan of those things. So you should list somewhere on your page you're writing this down on. If you're doing it on an exam paper, I recommend making a margin and listing those things in the margin so you can tick them off as you go along. If you're doing this at home, you can write them down at the top of the page and tick them off as you go along there. But you should be writing out each of the things you're going to talk about in your answer so you can refer back to and tick them off later. Next, you should attempt to write an answer to the question. Pause the video here and have a go at writing your answer down somewhere. Throw it in the comments if you think it's really, really good. If at this point you've written an answer, the next step is to check your answer. Go back against these things and tick them off if you've done them. Pause here, make sure you get that done. Next, you should attempt to write an answer to the question. Pause the video here and have a go at writing your answer down somewhere. Throw it in the comments if you think it's really, really good. If at this point you've written an answer, the next step is to check your answer. Go back against these things and tick them off if you've done them. Pause here, make sure you get that done. Right, now you should have an answer and we're going to mark that answer. We break the answer up into 3 different levels. Level 1 for 1 or 2 marks, level 2 for 3 to 4 marks, and level 3 for 5 to 6 marks. Now, level 1 would likely be for describing 1 practical and giving the correct positive result for it. Level 2 would be describing 2 practicals and giving the correct positive results. And level 3 for describing 3 practicals with the positive results included as well. The 3 practicals then for proteins, you would mix them. You'd mix the solution, burette solution, which is normally blue, and if it turned a purple colour, you'd be looking at a positive test for protein. For carbohydrates, you would add iodine to the solution, and you would find that it turned a dark blue-black colour if you had got any starch present in your solution. And finally, for starch, you'd be adding Benedict solution and putting it in a water bath to warm it up, and looking for an orange colour for a positive result. If you got all 3 of those described correctly with the positive test results, you'll be getting top marks on that question. I hope that helps. Thanks very much for watching. Make sure you stay safe, stay alert, stay curious, and subscribe.